What's up, e-bikers? So today I want to do some tips around riding e-bikes. One thing I've noticed about e-bike buyers is that many of them are buying their first bike they've ridden in a long time. And so there are some things you need to know about e-bikes specifically to make your ride safer. And today we're going to use Lectric XP to do that. I'll show you some tricks and tips on how I ride my Lectric XP and give you some safety tips as well, especially one that you're really going to want to know about electric bikes specifically. So let's get into it. Alright, so first up we're going to talk about the throttle, which is located on the right hand side. In some cases you'll have a twist throttle like this, or you may have a thumb throttle where you press your thumb on it. But Lectric XP has the twist throttle, which many people like. One thing to be aware about this is that you can hit this by accident, and if you're not prepared, it will move the bike. So it's kind of a safety thing. Even if you're on, well, if you're on zero, PS zero, it does not work. So only when you're in 1 through 5 will the throttle work at all. So keep that in mind. But there are two ways I use the throttle on my e-bike. One is getting started, and the second is crossing the street. And that's why I think this is a great feature to have, especially if you're an older rider and you just need that little bit of pickup starting the e-bike, because these things can be a little bit clumsy to get started if you're not in the right gear. And so here's how I kind of do it. I'm in PS3, I just hit the throttle, then I start pedaling and get it going. Now let's go up here this hill here and cross the street, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Again, it's to me, the throttle is the number one reason I use the throttle is crossing the street, because it just gets you there much faster, and of course that's a safety issue. This is Main Street where I live. As you can see, it's pretty busy right now. It's Mother's Day morning. Hit the throttle now and get across the street. I'm also going to pedal, but just help me get me started there and get you across the street faster. So that's the first tip about riding these e-bikes, is the throttle. And I think getting started and crossing the streets are the two best reasons to use this while you're riding. Alright, so second thing we'll talk about today is the gearing. So this has a 7-speed shifter here on the handlebars, as you can see. Right now I'm in gear 7. So I generally ride in gear 6 or 7, especially if you're on flat ground. That will give you the most pedal resistance overall. But if you have a heavy e-bike, you're probably going to want to drop that down to, like, let's say 3. And that'll give you a much better way to get started down here. So I'm gonna start pedaling, and you can hear the gears change there, and it's just a much easier way to get rolling while you're riding the bike. So drop those gears down, and it'll be much easier to get going. Now also, it's great for hills. So I just turned onto a hill here. I'm in third gear, I'm in PS3, and I'm literally having no effort going up this hill. So when you do go up the hill, just drop those gears down into like 3 or 4, bump your assist up maybe 1 or 2, and off you go. So that's the easiest way to use your gears and get going and getting up the hills faster. So again, if you haven't ridden a bike in a while and forgot how to use gears, which people do, that's how you use them. So that's alright, so let's talk about probably the most important thing you need to know about riding electric bikes, which is cornering. You do not want to engage the motor. You do not want to pedal as you're going into a turn, because if you do, it's going to push you a lot faster and you're going to crash, basically. You can see I'm just coasting now, but if I start to pedal into a turn, it really starts to take off on you. And if you're not prepared for that, you're going to crash the bike. So when you're cornering at speeds, you know, you want to pedal out of the turn, not into it. So keep that in mind. Let's do a quick cornering up here. I'll show you more. You know, if I start to pedal now, I'm really it's gonna take the outside more. I'd rather want to just coast into a turn and come out of it with throttle or pedaling. So I'll show you that up here. So you come up to a turn, you want to come out a little bit and then just coast into it. Now you can kick the throttle in and get going. You know, when you're cornering at slow speeds, it can really take off, especially if you're in a higher PAS setting. People have about riding e-bikes is how easy are they to pedal without any assist. So I want to show you that today. These cars go by. And the answer is, on flat ground, it's pretty easy actually. If you were starting to go up a hill, no, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be heavy, especially depending on how heavy your e-bike is. This e-bike weighs about 64 pounds. So it's on the heavier side, but it's not too heavy, so that you can't use it. So right now I'm in gear 3. I'm on no pedal assist, and I'm just going to start pedaling, and we'll show you what the speed looks like. Just watch the speed, and you'll get a sense of how fast I'm going. So you can do 8-9 miles an hour pretty easily with, I would call it minimal effort. I'm using it right now. I am feeling it in my legs. But yeah, so I can ride the Lectric XP at 7.5 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, pretty easily on flat ground. So great way to save on your battery, you know, particularly if you're going on a longer ride and you have a stretch of flat ground coming up. You can certainly put it in PS 0 and just pedal manually. So you're not going to get more than 8 or 9 miles an hour unless you pedal a little bit harder, of course. But yeah, that's how easy it is. You know, it's not like riding a 30-pound bike, but it's doable on flat ground. Alright, and the last thing about e-bikes and Lectric XP in particular is it comes stock 20 miles an hour as top speed, but you can unlock it. Some bikes you can't, some you can. On Lectric XP, you're supposed to get up to 28 miles an hour with pedaling. So I'm going to show you how to unlock it now, and we'll do a speed test to see how fast we can go. Now, on my last XP 2.0, I only got 26 miles an hour. So we'll test it again on this new one I got recently. So you're going to basically click on the plus and minus buttons, hold them down for a couple seconds, and you go into your PAS settings. You're going to go to, I think it's PAS 8. Yep, there it is. You can change 32 to 100, and that's it. I just unlocked the Lectric XP to 26 or 28 miles an hour, they say. But let's put that to the test and see how we do. There we go. Now we're coasting. 26, 27. That was a slight downhill. I felt the motor kick up a notch on that last run there, so. Whew. All right, well, that's the end of the video. Catch you next time.